Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is David Novak. When it comes to novelists, I have generally only read at best one or at most two novels by any given author. There have been a few exceptions. So I've read four novels by Jane Austen, three novels by Leo Tolstoy, a little bit more than two and a half plus by Dostoevsky. Who else? Mark Twain, I've read three novels. And I think that's about Graham Greene. I've read probably four novels by Graham Greene. I don't know which ones they would be, but the others I could tell you if you wanted. And so I'm not talking about, say, page count or anything like that. Obviously, the brothers Karamazov or Anna Karenina and War and Peace are much more substantial in terms of page count than just about anything else. But I'm just talking about numbers of novels. If you were to count the Bronte sisters as one author, then I would have read three by one author, but I don't think that quite is fair anyhow. The author of whom I have read the most novels up until today may be a surprise to you, and that is Naguib Mahfouz. I'm not sure how you say it, but he did the Cairo Trilogy. And so that's three novels there. Palace Walk, Sugar Sweet, I think was the third, and then the second one I can't remember. Oh, Palace of Desire. So Palace Walk, Palace of Desire, and Sugar Sweet. Palace Walk is the best of the three, obviously. And I've read two others by him. Three novels of ancient Egypt. Well, I've read two of them. Khufu's Wisdom and Rhodopis of Nubia. I should get to the third one soon to put him up to a six count, a good half dozen. But I have blown him out of the water with B. Traven. So I will just let you know how I stand and give you a progress report on my reading of the Mahogany cycle, a series of 6 books by B. Traven, which was one of my big goals for this year. It's actually coming along quicker than I would have thought. So years ago, I read The White Rose by B. Traven. That's one. Last year, I read The Death Ship by B. Traven. So that's 2. Early this year, I started with Government. So that's 3. Then I followed that with the Carreta, trying to show it. So that's what, 4? And followed that with March to the Montería. That's 5. And now I have begun number 6. So B. Traven is ahead by a nose. Hopefully, before February is out, I shall have finished his 6 jungle novels, which will put me to a grand total of 8 with B. Traven. And I have a couple of other of his novels that I may just throw into the mix just for the fun of it. So it was interesting. His Mahogany cycle, or jungle novels, jungle books, let's say, start with Government. It's a very good place to start. The second is the Carreta. And it was interesting because I really liked Government and I absolutely adored the Carreta. But when I went to look up reviews, a lot of people who had read the books felt that the Carreta didn't quite hit it for them. They felt either that Government was a lot better, or the march to the Montería was better, and that this was a little lacking. So my judgment is obviously not necessarily to be depended on, but now that I've progressed a little further into the saga, government follows one character, the Carreta follows another character, the march to the Montería follows another character, and we start to see the various characters to whom we have been introduced previously start to mix and mingle. Well, not so much start to mix nor mingle so much as be in the same setting at the same time. They don't really have that much to do with each other. And so it continues with Trozas. And as soon as I opened this book, Traven always claimed that he wrote his novels in English and then translated them into German for their initial publication because he couldn't get them published in the United States or in the English-speaking world. I believe him. I absolutely believe him. If you have read his books, somebody at Goodreads said that his writing style was as though with a machete. It's very clear. He cuts a clean swath. And once you have read his style, you know it very well. You can identify it. And this book is the oddity, or one of the oddities. I haven't read all of his books or know what the situation is with many of the others, but this is a book for which the original English version appears to have gone missing. And so this is actually a translation from the German. And you can tell immediately that just the sentencing is not as crisp as you have grown accustomed to with Traven. That said, it follows the story that he told, and I think it's a pretty good translation. So I think sentence by sentence you get what Traven intended. It's just in terms of specific vocabulary words, it's not quite as crisp, not quite as precise as Traven would have made it. So I am thoroughly convinced that Traven was, as he said, an American. You can define that how you like, and that he spent time abroad. He obviously did in Europe, but everything that he describes about the situations in these novels, as with his novel, The Death Ship, he writes with an intimacy of one who has had the lived experience. So I am almost on the verge of saying that the Jungle Books or the Mahogany cycle should be considered one great, sprawling, epic novel. But of course, I have 3 to go, or 2 to go, plus a little bit more of this. Well, I've read, what have I read of this so far? Only 10 pages. So, and this is a long one. This is like 265. March to the Montería was the briefest so far, about 200, I think. And the others were like 225, something like that. So we shall see where it goes. But I feel like all of my effort at trying to become a better reader is beginning to pay dividends, in that now I have read more than 5 books by a single author. Am I counting that right? Yes, I am. So I've read a little bit more than 5. So that is how things stand with me. Just thought I would flash on briefly. Now I will go and continue with my private celebration. What is it? I should be having a cometeco añejo, something like that. Thank you very much for stopping by my channel.